Welcome to Roice-Hurst Humane Society's foster program. Thank you for opening your heart and home to the animals in our care. We couldn't do what we do without the help of our dedicated foster volunteers like you, and we hope you find this general foster orientation helpful and informative. To complete this orientation, you will be required to take a simple quiz at the end to verify that you've watched this, and I encourage you to have a pen and paper ready to write down any questions or notes you have along the way. The foster coordinator will be your go-to contact for questions, concerns, and updates regarding your foster pet. On the screen is the foster coordinator's contact information, including email address, office phone, and foster cell phone. Please note that only emergency phone calls will be answered outside of the foster coordinator's working hours, which are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Roice-Hurst Humane Society has two locations. Our main full-service location is in Grand Junction, located at 362 28 Road, just off of Riverside Parkway. Our hours of operation are 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday, and we are closed to the public on Mondays. In 2021, we opened a satellite location in Delta to hold stray dogs for the city and county of Delta. This shelter is located at 720 West 4th Street in Delta and is open daily from 12 to 3 p.m. This shelter is not a full-service location, so if you're fostering in Delta, you may be asked to transport your foster pet to Grand Junction for things like vet care. If that's not possible, we're happy to work with you as needed. Our Delta location is not an adoption center, so any dogs who are not picked up by their owners will enter our adoption program, either in foster care or move to our Grand Junction location. Roice-Hurst Humane Society was founded in 1963 out of a chicken coop, and since then we've grown to be an integral part of the community serving the Western Slope's homeless dogs and cats. Our mission is to promote bonds between pets and their people. We're a nonprofit organization, and the majority of our work is funded by donations, service fees, and grants. We're often confused with Mesa County Animal Services, which is the animal law enforcement in Mesa County. We are not them, although we're proud to work closely with them, and many of our pets are transfers from their facility. Our Delta location is open through a contract with the City and County of Delta to provide housing for stray and impounded dogs in the area. We are a socially conscious shelter, which means we work with each pet individually to find them the most appropriate outcome, no matter how long that may take, while we help them become medically and behaviorally adoptable with the help of our foster volunteers. We do occasionally have to make the difficult and compassionate decision to humanely euthanize certain pets who are terminally ill or behaviorally unsafe to place into the community. In a typical year, more than 500 animals go through our foster program, and we simply could not do that without people like you who graciously volunteer to take these guys home. Foster care is a temporary arrangement in which a shelter pet is cared for in a volunteer's home prior to adoption. Every foster animal is different, but the length of a foster stay is typically between a couple of weeks to a couple of months. You'll be able to help find your foster pets their new homes. And it's all the fun of having a pet without the lifelong commitment or cost. A variety of different animals require foster care for many different reasons, but each animal typically falls within one of these four categories: underage, medical, behavioral, and adoptable. I'll briefly discuss how each of these types of pets benefit from foster care. Underage animals are puppies or kittens under the age of 8 weeks old. These guys benefit from foster care because they can't legally be adopted from the shelter until they're 2 months old. Because they're so young, their immune systems aren't fully developed, and they're often under-vaccinated, so the shelter is not always the safest place for them to hang out. Plus, this age is an incredibly impressionable time for kittens and puppies, so it's important for them to spend this time in a home environment to be properly socialized. Our biggest foster need is for underage kittens during the warmer months of the year, known as kitten season, when cats start having babies. Community cats who live outdoors have kittens on the streets, under trailers, in bushes, you name it, and people find these kittens and bring them to us to enter the foster program. Sometimes these kittens may be orphaned as newborns and require bottle feeding every few hours. Sometimes they're weaned and just need a place to hang out until they're big enough for adoption. Sometimes these kittens have never met a human being and need someone to socialize them. Sometimes underage animals need to be fostered with their nursing mom. Medical fosters encompass a wide variety of needs. From animals with upper respiratory infections and allergies, to dogs and cats with broken bones and major surgeries, it's almost always more comfortable for a sick or injured animal to receive specialized, frequent care in a home environment. Sick and injured animals heal faster when they're safe and comfy in a foster home. Behavioral fosters vary as every animal is different. Fearful or overly energetic dogs require specialized training plans and a calmer environment than what we can provide in the shelter. Shy cats need a quiet place to decompress and gain confidence. Under-socialized kittens need someone to teach them that humans are not so scary. As a behavior foster, you will be expected to work consistently with our team to help your foster pet learn more adoptable behaviors. Adoptable pets are our ready-to-go dogs and cats who would simply have a better experience waiting for their permanent home in a home environment. As comfy as we try and make it, the shelter is an inherently stressful place for pets. It's full of unfamiliar sounds, smells, animals, and people, and almost any animal would rather curl up on your couch than sleep in a kennel every night. Plus, it's a ton of fun to find creative ways to show off your adoptable foster pet to the public, and so rewarding once they finally go home with their future best friend. Plus, when you foster an animal, you're helping two pets, the one in your home and the one that we can now bring into the shelter due to that space opening up. The walls of our shelter are as big as the community of supporters who surround us. Before you foster your first pet, there are a few things that you should consider. The first is time. Every foster pet is different, and the time commitment can widely vary. We totally understand that not everyone has the ability to feed a bottle baby every 2 hours, but almost any type of lifestyle can accommodate some sort of foster pet. If you work 8 hours a day, perhaps foster older weaned kittens or an adult cat. If you travel often, then choose a foster pet who needs a shorter stay in foster. If you have more time to give, try taking on bottle babies or a pet needing consistent behavioral work. Another thing to consider is the space that you have in your home. We ask that you provide a dedicated space for your foster animal away from your resident pets. For kittens or nursing moms, this could mean keeping them in a bathroom or spare bedroom. For dogs, this could mean setting up a bed or feeding space in an area that can be closed off if needed. If you're fostering a dog, think about how you will take the pup to go out to potty, whether that's on a leash or if you have a fenced-in yard, and if you do have a yard, make sure that there aren't any potential escape routes. Be sure to look at your space from the animal's point of view and remove any hazards. Another thing to consider is your resident pets at home. We require all pets in your home to be fully vaccinated. This is because oftentimes shelter pets have unknown medical histories, especially kittens found outdoors, so it's important that your pet is protected from anything a foster pet may be carrying. This is one of the reasons why we ask you to keep your foster kittens confined to their own space for at least 2 weeks. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, underage pets are undervaccinated and don't have fully developed immune systems, so we don't want them to get sick either. Additionally, if you have an unaltered dog or cat, you won't be able to foster an adult pet of the same species and opposite sex of your pet. We already have enough puppies and kittens. This is the step-by-step process of fostering a pet for Roice-Hurst. If you're watching this, you've probably already completed step number 1, but if you haven't already filled out a foster application, please do so on our website. After that, you will complete this orientation and send the foster coordinator a 2 to 3 minute video of your home and any spaces a foster will have access to. This video is a requirement by the state of Colorado in order to allow us to house pets in private homes. Next is the fun part. Visit the foster page on our website at rhumanesociety.org/foster to browse all the pets eligible to move into foster care. This page mostly shows our adult pets who are currently being housed on site, but we do oftentimes have pets who need a foster placement immediately upon intake, such as young kittens, puppies, and medical cases. For those of you who are signed up to foster these types of animals, keep an eye on our Facebook foster group, which I'll talk about later, or you may receive a call, text, or email on an individual basis when these guys are scheduled to come in. You can always say no if the timing isn't right. If you're signed up to foster underage or medical pets, it's extremely helpful if you are prepared to take in a foster animal same day, because we typically are not able to keep underage kittens and puppies in the shelter overnight. When you pick up your foster animal, we will provide you with basic supplies as requested. You will sign a foster agreement each time you pick up a new animal. While you have a foster pet, please stay in touch with the foster coordinator regarding how they're doing, any questions you have, any supplies or appointments you need, and we're happy to help. We love seeing pictures of our animals in foster, so please send those our way. Keep an eye on your email because you will receive applications from potential adopters to meet once your foster pet is ready to go. Every available animal is either already spayed or neutered or has an appointment for surgery scheduled. If your foster pet is not yet spayed or neutered, the pet's adopters are responsible for getting their new animal to this appointment to receive the free surgery included with the adoption. Please let the foster coordinator know if you need to take a break from fostering. If you're no longer able to keep a foster animal in your care, you may return them by appointment, but please let the foster coordinator know at least 1 week in advance so they can have a plan together for that animal's return. If you're leaving town for the weekend or just need a short-term break for a few days, please let the foster coordinator know a week in advance, and we can either arrange a respite foster to hang on to your animal for that time, or they can move into the shelter until you get back. Prior to picking up your foster animal, please let the foster coordinator know what supplies you will need us to provide, such as wet food, dry food, litter, crates, puppy pads, bottle baby supplies, and any other basic supply. Any supply donations you wish to provide are greatly appreciated but not required. Any supply purchases you make for your foster animal can be considered tax-deductible donations. However, we are unable to reimburse you for purchases you make without approval, including vet care. Once the foster stay ends, please return all borrowed reusable items in good, clean condition back to Roice-Hurst. If items are lost or damaged, you will be responsible for replacing or repairing them. To pick up more supplies, please notify the foster coordinator or call the main shelter line. This is a list of all the different types of animals that you can foster at Roice-Hurst. Bottle-fed kittens and puppies, weaned kittens and puppies, pregnant or nursing dog or cat with babies, under-socialized kittens and cats, dogs needing behavior modification, pets with medical needs, and adoptable pets. Kitten fosters and dog fosters of all kinds are our biggest need. I'll discuss each of these more in depth in the next couple of slides. This table shows the time commitment for each type of animal, both in terms of daily care and the typical duration of their time in foster. First is bottle babies, which are between the ages of newborn to about 5 weeks old. Bottle babies do require a lot of time, but their lives depend on foster volunteers to get them through these first few weeks. And when a little life is depending on you, all that time is worth it. It's especially gratifying to watch a bottle baby that you raised grow up into a beautiful dog or cat and get adopted. Kittens and puppies need bottle fed every 2 hours as newborns, including overnight. With each week, you can feed them less frequently until they are weaned. Weaned kittens and puppies are about 5 weeks old or older, and unlike bottle babies, do not require overnight feedings. These guys are a lot of fun to have around, snuggle with, and watch play. In general, you can still go to work and get a full night's sleep while fostering weaned kittens and puppies. They need fed about 3 or 4 times a day and require consistent time for socialization and cleaning. Kittens and puppies generally stay in foster care until they're 8 weeks old. You can also foster a pregnant or nursing mom cat or dog, which is all the fun of having tiny babies, but mom does all the hard work of caring for them. Your job is to monitor the animals and make sure everyone is healthy, growing, and well socialized. You can typically leave moms alone overnight and during an 8-hour workday. The duration of foster care can widely vary on this one, depending on how far along the animal is in her pregnancy or how old the babies are when they arrive at your home. Under-socialized kittens and cats are a really fun type of foster to work with. A lot of older kittens found outdoors, typically around 7 weeks or older, are fearful of people because they've never been indoors before. When they get scooped up off the street and brought into your home, it's like being abducted by aliens, and you get to teach them what humans are and convince them to be your friend. This takes consistency and frequency, but you can typically have a full 8-hour workday and full night's sleep with these guys. They usually stay for at least 2 weeks, depending on their progress. If you have an interest in dog training, behavior modification dogs are for you. Every single dog is different, and it's so rewarding to work consistently on teaching a dog more adoptable behaviors and finally see them get adopted into their forever home thanks to the work you did with them. All sorts of behavioral issues can improve through foster care, but all of them require frequency and consistency. These dogs typically stay in foster for at least 2 weeks or until adopted. Medical animals also widely vary depending on what type of issue they have. Some pets will need daily bandage changes, some will need to wear a cone, and some may just need to be given medication while they get over an illness or infection. Adoptable pets are also a fun but variable group to foster. These guys are regular, ready for adoption animals that would simply rather stay at your house than in a kennel while they wait to be adopted. These pets are so much fun to show off to your friends, family, and on your social media. Fostering adoptable pets is a great option for people who want the company of a dog or cat at home but aren't able to commit to adoption. Adoptable pets usually don't stay in foster care for more than a week or 2. Before you get your first foster animal, you'll want to set up their space. You'll receive a more in-depth home checklist to go through, but here are a few important things to pay attention to. As I mentioned earlier, your foster should have a dedicated space away from other pets if it's appropriate for them, like young kittens, a nursing mom, or a very shy animal that needs their own safe space. Be sure that there are no escape routes from the house or yard, including out of things like windows and doors. Set up secure food storage so your foster or resident pets don't get into it and have a feast. They must be in a climate-controlled part of the house, meaning heating and air conditioning. No access to poisons, cleaning supplies, toxic plants, medications, or other hazardous substances. A more detailed list of common poisons is in the foster manual. Be sure there are no easily accessible electrical cords that they may want to chew on. Be sure there is no access to the inside of a trash can, washer or dryer, or toilet. No accessible hazards such as ashtrays, lit candles, string, needles, fragile objects, or toys with small removable parts. Set up your feeding and litter areas away from resident pets to limit potential spread of disease or resource guarding. And be sure to put away any breakable items and pet-proof your floors. The first few days home can be difficult for a new foster pet as they adjust to a new environment with new people. Please be gentle and patient during this time. Keep the pet in their own dedicated space, especially if you're fostering cats or kittens. A smaller space to call their own will make them feel more comfortable. Due to stress, they may initially exhibit a lack of appetite, diarrhea, and anxiety for the first few days. Notify the foster coordinator if this continues beyond the first few days. Find a guide to introducing resident pets on our website under the Resources section. The foster coordinator can also provide guidance on this. As a foster, you will be expected to follow some basic rules and responsibilities. A full list of rules and responsibilities is in the foster agreement that you will sign before taking home a foster animal, which includes the following. Provide proper, kind, and loving care, including adequate food, water, shelter, socialization, a clean environment, and administration of medication as directed by Roice-Hurst. Your foster pet is the sole property of Roice-Hurst until adopted. Do not give the foster animal away unless an official adoption has been completed and Roice-Hurst is notified. Please return the pet at the request of Roice-Hurst staff. Maintain communications regarding the foster pet, including those with potential adopters and Roice-Hurst staff. Do not attempt to treat a foster pet medically or behaviorally without permission from Roice-Hurst. This includes vitamins, supplements, or prescriptions not approved by Roice-Hurst. Notify Roice-Hurst immediately if your foster pet appears to be sick, injured, behaving abnormally, is lost, or has bitten a human or animal. Provide transportation for your foster animal as requested, such as to and from vet appointments, adoption showings, etc. Foster dogs must always be leashed when outdoors, except when supervised within a fenced yard. Foster dogs are not permitted to visit public dog parks. Foster dogs are not permitted to meet other dogs unless they are a resident in your home or approved by Roice-Hurst. Foster cats and kittens are not permitted outdoors unless approved by Roice-Hurst. Foster pets are not permitted to leave the Grand Valley unless approved by Roice-Hurst. At Roice-Hurst, we are committed to keeping all of our pets healthy and happy. If your foster pet needs to visit the vet, please schedule an appointment by contacting the foster coordinator. As part of routine care, most pets will require vaccinations every 2 to 3 weeks until fully vaccinated. You can prepare yourself at home for an emergency by stocking up on some first aid supplies. While these items are not required for you to have, we recommend having these things on hand in case of an emergency until your foster animal can receive professional medical attention, especially if you're fostering underage kittens and puppies. Caro syrup is corn syrup, which you can find in the baking aisle at the grocery store. Fading or unresponsive kittens and puppies often have critically low blood sugar. Rubbing Caro syrup on a lethargic animal's gums will help raise glucose levels. A heating pad is helpful because fading kittens or puppies may be critically hypothermic or too cold. Wrap them in a heating pad over a towel to help raise their temperature. Clear, unflavored Pedialyte. If a kitten or puppy is dehydrated, replace water with Pedialyte as directed by Roice-Hurst. A digital thermometer and petroleum jelly are used to take an animal's temperature. Gauze or bandages are used for injuries. A blanket or towel can be helpful in a variety of situations and are good to keep on hand. And disposable gloves for when you need them. If your foster pet is exhibiting signs of illness or abnormal behavior, it's important to know what needs emergency attention and what can wait for a regular vet appointment. The following are non-emergency symptoms, and if your pet is showing these, please notify the foster coordinator during normal working hours. Has not eaten anything in 48 hours, vomiting 2 times over a 24-hour period, non-bloody diarrhea that lasts longer than 48 hours, frequent coughing but no fainting or trouble breathing, coughing that gets worse over a 24-hour period, mucus discharge from the eyes or nose but still eating normally, limping or acting painful but still walking on the affected leg or foot, excessively itchy skin, scratching ears repeatedly or acting painful when the ears are touched, lethargy for longer than 48 hours, which means a lack of energy or interest in normal behaviors previously observed, minor skin wounds that are not bleeding, or a mild fever, which means a rectal temperature of 103 degrees in a cat or dog. If your foster pet exhibits any of the following emergency symptoms, please notify Roice-Hurst immediately for medical attention. Please note that these situations are rare, but it's important to keep these symptoms in the back of your mind in case the situation arises. A dog who has not eaten anything in more than 48 hours, a cat who has not eaten anything in more than 72 hours, vomiting that contains blood or continues many times over a 12-hour period, diarrhea that contains large amounts of blood, coughing that is severe and causes labored or difficult breathing, fainting, swelling of the face, eyelids, or lips, pale gums, high fever, which is a rectal temperature of higher than 104 degrees in a cat or dog, physical trauma resulting in broken bones, deep wounds, or difficulty breathing or walking, not putting weight on a limb or foot, and the limb or foot is swollen, bleeding, or extremely painful to the touch, skin wounds that are bleeding, and the bleeding does not stop after pressure is applied to the area for 5 to 10 minutes, broken toenails that are bleeding, bleeding from the nose or mouth, consumption of a poison such as chocolate, antifreeze, onions, marijuana, rat poisons, etc., choking or an obstruction of the airway, such as a toy or piece of fabric stuck in the mouth or throat, severe lethargy, labored breathing, confusion or disorientation, straining to urinate or defecate with obvious pain present, a cat who strains to urinate multiple times and has not produced any urine, and seizures. A lost foster animal and an animal who has bitten a person are also treated as emergencies. Please notify Roice-Hurst right away if these situations arise. At Roice-Hurst, we consider a bite to be any time an animal's tooth breaks skin, regardless of the context of the situation. Even a playful bite that accidentally grazed the skin is technically considered a bite and must be reported to Roice-Hurst. The animal will need to come back to the shelter for bite quarantine by law if they bite a human. In an emergency, please immediately call the foster phone and remember to stay calm. If there's no answer, please leave a message and call again, and follow the directions in the voicemail prompt. While fostering a pet, it's important to make sure that their space is kept clean. Regular cleaning includes the following: provide fresh food and water daily, scoop the litter box daily, wash bedding frequently, wash baby bottles and food and water bowls often, make sure the pet themselves is clean, and note any abnormalities such as an untouched food bowl or diarrhea in the litter box while you're cleaning. It's also important to clean your space between foster stays to prevent the spread of illness, especially if your last foster pet was sick. Think of your home as a hotel. You want to make sure it's clean and fresh for the next guest. In between fosters, please sanitize or replace litter boxes, food and water bowls, and toys. Clean the pet's area, crate, and carrier with a 1 to 32 bleach water mixture. Wash all blankets, towels, and bedding in the laundry with bleach. And mop, vacuum, or sweep floors. One of the most fun parts of fostering is to get creative and help find your foster pet a forever home. You can post pictures and videos of them on social media, highlighting their unique quirks. Please tag us in your posts about your foster pet so we can share them. Our social media pages are at the bottom of the screen. You can make or borrow an Adopt Me bandana to have your foster dog wear on their walks. We do monthly adoption events, so you can participate in those as they come up. And of course, we will continue to promote your foster pet regularly, so please send us photos, videos, and information about your foster so that we can get them out there and get them adopted. Remember, goodbye is the goal of fostering. please join our Facebook group just for Roice-Hurst fosters. This is where we post urgent foster pleas, upcoming pets who will need foster care, important updates, and more, so please make sure to join if you have a Facebook account. You can also use this group to share your photos and videos with us and other fosters. It's a great place to show off your foster pet, meet other fosters, ask questions, find foster resources, and get support. The group is called Roice-Hurst Fosters, and you can find it at facebook.com/groups/Roice-Hurst Fosters. When your foster pet is ready for adoption, you will become their adoption ambassador. For kittens and puppies, this is typically at 8 weeks of age. When your foster pet becomes available for adoption, you will receive a customized adoption packet for your foster pet. Your foster pet will be up on our website. Potential adopters can submit an online interest form to meet your pet. This interest form will be forwarded to you via email. Please contact the potential adopter within 48 hours. First, call the potential adopter and discuss your foster pet. Be open and honest. We want to make sure your pet has found a good match. If they would like to meet your foster pet, schedule a showing. You can either have the potential adopter meet you at your home, or you can contact the foster coordinator and schedule a time to meet them at Roice-Hurst. If it's a match, follow the instructions on the adoption paperwork provided to you, collect the adoption fee, and return it all to Roice-Hurst as soon as possible. Your foster pet is adopted. Sometimes your foster pet's forever home was you all along. If you fall in love, you may adopt your own foster pet. If you want to adopt your own foster, notify Roice-Hurst as soon as possible. Simply complete the adoption paperwork and return it to Roice-Hurst, or schedule an appointment to adopt your pet in person. If your foster pet is adoptable and a member of the public requests to meet them, you have 48 hours to either set up a showing or adopt the pet yourself. However, we would like to avoid breaking hearts, so please notify Roice-Hurst as soon as you decide to adopt. In most cases, the adoption fee still applies. If you have any questions about the information we went over in this orientation, please contact the foster coordinator. For more information about fostering, please see the Foster Manual, which is downloadable from the foster page on our website. Thank you for completing the Roice-Hurst Humane Society General Foster Orientation. To verify that you've completed this orientation, please take the quiz by clicking the link in the description of this video or type the URL on your screen into your browser. Please also visit the link in the description to find additional training and resources specific to the types of animals you wish to foster. Thank you for your time and willingness to help our shelter pets through foster care.